All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of How I Met Your Mortgage. I'm Adam Smith with the Core Finance Group and Just the Tips Coaching. With me, as always, is the marketing director for both of those companies, Jen Waybauer. Good morning, Jen.
Morning.
And our guest this week probably needs no introduction, particularly if you are in the Colorado Springs, Colorado area. But we'll introduce him anyway. Greg Luczak. Good morning, Greg.
Morning, how you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for being on the show. We are ecstatic to have you with us this morning.
So much for having me. I really appreciate it.
So, Greg, give us a little bit of background where you've come from, what you were doing before real estate, when you got into real estate, and what that timeline has looked like since then.
Grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area. My went to college. My major was marketing. Went to San Francisco State for a couple years. Classroom size, all that kind of stuff was really daunting for me. So I ended up moving to Spokane, Washington, to kind of finish up my college career. Went to a place called Eastern Washington University. So finished up there. Honestly, college took me forever, man. I was probably 26, 27 by the time I got fully done with it. Kind of working jobs in the meantime and making some money in the meantime. First job outside of college, my college career was marketing, graphic design, things like that. So I was kind of had a marketing brain, but really no place to put it. First job out of college was like insurance claims, working in a call center, doing a job I hated. Got me really, really good at delivering bad news to people, though, for sure. After that, I got a job doing marketing for a real estate company here in Colorado Springs. And so I kind of just changed my entire career and life trajectory. I was thinking before that, I was in Colorado, and I was looking at maybe getting a job in Denver, something like that, where they have a little bit more ample marketing opportunities. Got this job in Colorado Springs, working for a real estate company. Worked for them for about 2 years doing marketing, and it was 2009. I thought, well, the market's in the tank. What better time to take a swing myself? And so got my license, and 10 years later, here we are.
10 years. That's a good long stretch. So in that time frame, obviously, just like everybody else, the majority of the real estate agents and loan originators and insurance people and financial planners that tune in to watch us every week, you probably started as a one-man show.
For sure. For
Okay.
sure. Yeah. So I started off as a one man show, and I was doing everything. And I mean, I was 29 years old. Started to feel like I was kind of running out of opportunities, honestly, as far as, all right, I didn't really dig this career. Let me get into this. Let me get into this. I started to feel like my back was up against the wall a little bit. And so, man, I was a cold calling fool. I mean, I was like 4 hours a day, every single day, 5 days a week, like just pounding the phones. 2009, the market was a little bit different contextually than it is now. There was a lot of expired listings and things like that I could kind of pound. So I mean, I was doing it. So it was just me doing everything, which I think is one way to do it. I mean, it definitely teaches you the nuts and bolts of some of the stuff that you're going to have to do down the line. Now my team has grown a little bit. We've got 3 other agents underneath me that are really, really good agents. And we've got a pretty heavy support staff, including in-house staging, in-house videography, in-house marketing, social media coordinators, and obviously TC and office managers, things like that.
Okay. So there are roughly 6 or 8 of you that are handling business for the group.
So the team as a total is 10, 4 of them being licensed agents.
Okay.
And we're starting to get to the point where we're looking to expand a little bit. As we got into last year, we put the team in place, and we went from 2 agents to 6 agents like really quickly. It spread me a little bit thin, honestly, so I had to back that off a little bit and make sure that I was giving time to the agents that I have as far as kind of allowing to facilitate their maturity and making sure that I had time available for training and one-on-one and all that stuff that's super, super critical. And so now we're back up to 3 agents. We're looking at as this year goes along, maybe towards the end of the year, going into next year, maybe looking to expand that with a couple more agents moving forward if we find the right fits, for sure.
When did you start to make that shift? When was the first addition to your team?
Man, I was slow about it, honestly. I went the first 7 years of my career I mean, I was doing 85 transactions for 20 million by myself with like a part-time assistant that was basically a bill for me, honestly. I was doing all the contract stuff, all of the marketing stuff, delivering brochures, dropping off sites, picking up sites, I mean, forever. Because I really was adamant. I was seeing all these guys that kind of come in and built these teams really quickly, and I was really adamant that I thought this was something that I wanted to develop and I wanted to get really good at before I started making that expansion. So I added, I had a full-time assistant 2.5, 3 years ago that was doing a lot of my marketing, just kind of the running around, some of that kind of stuff. I added a office manager slash TC the following year, and November of 2018 is when I kind of brought on the first person on my team. Second person on the team came in December. The third person came on in like March. And so from there, we started kind of growing a little bit. Some of the rest of the team, the in-house staging, the videography, some of that kind of stuff, we were outsourcing and had vendors that we had on retainer with us until we honestly got big enough and started doing enough business that it just made sense to kind of bring them in-house and keep them for some of that sort of stuff instead. So, yeah, so it was a slow progression for me. I really sort of was resistant to the idea because I wasn't sure how much managing I wanted to do, and I was really enjoying what I was doing, just selling houses. You know, I really enjoyed that part of it. I like the interaction. I love the products and working with those individual houses and marketing them. And so I was really resistant to the idea of growing the team until it started getting to a point, honestly, that I felt like so much business was walking out the door. I mean, I had gotten to a rhythm where it was like, you know, hey, I'm calling about 123 Main Street, sold, see you later. And so at least having a team, I could actually cultivate that lead, and yeah, no problem, Adam's going to give you a call and he can handle it from there. And so it got to the point where I felt like enough business was turning away that it just kind of started overwhelming me, and I had to start growing if I wanted to take advantage of all those opportunities.
Okay. And don't get me wrong, there is something in there that I want to get back to, but I think that, and if I'm wrong, correct me, but what I want for my audience to, or our audience at this point, to understand here is that you can do really solid production all by yourself. You guys can do it. It might be time consuming, it might be brain damaging, but it is doable. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And then I want you guys to really hear that at some point, when that volume started to increase to a certain amount, Greg did add a part-time assistant. And that's certainly the first thing that we recommend. And we always use a formula to the effect of, if you paid somebody $20 an hour for 20 hours a week, it translates to $1,600 a month, roughly, but frees up 80 hours of your time, certainly enough time to find one more deal. And we all know that that one deal pays you more than $1,600. So for those of you paying attention, you actually need help more than you think you do. And again, just like Greg wouldn't be in the position if he were in if he took the time that assistant provided him and he went and screwed off with it. What he did was he used that time to produce more, to generate more, so that he could continue to build and expand and be where he's at now. And I think that for those of you watching, it's really important to understand while there are different paths to the same summit, Greg continues to climb. And while he may do things a little differently than everybody else who wants to build a team, he's gotten to the point where he's got a, mid-sized team, real similar to what we do in our mortgage company, similar number of bodies and tasks and so on and so forth. And while it was a different path to get there, I want you guys to understand that if you just keep going up, keep expanding, keep adding, you're gonna get there. Okay. So, Greg, back when it was just you or when it was you and your assistant, what kind of activities, other than, banging the phones and FSBOs and expireds that you had mentioned, were you doing that you found to be successful lead generation as a new agent?
So I think right now we're in a different market than we were when I was in the
Than
business.
10 years ago? Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was just less competition, all of that. I know here in the Pikes Peak MLS, we went from when I was really starting out. I mean, I think we had 1,500 in that range of agents that were current. I think we're at about 5,000 right now. So there's so many more people that want to get in and get to those leads. So I think those leads that we're seeing, expireds, for sale by owners, anything like that that's sort of out there, we're seeing them swarm. I know I had a couple clients last year as we saw the market really flatten out towards the end of the year in September, October, November. I know I had a lot of clients that we just didn't want to get into the market, and so we took it off the market from October and reintroduced them in February when they moved really quick. In that time frame, I know I had a lot of feedback from clients that said they would get calls and drop-bys from upwards of 15 or 20 agents. That's just here in Colorado Springs. I can imagine, like in the Denver market, how competitive it might be. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to come up with ways outside of the box a little bit that you can get to potential clients that aren't going to be that swarm of competition that you're seeing right now. Because it's very difficult, on that 5-minute pitch that you might have with an expired or a for sale by owner or a, whatever it might be. It's really difficult there with that 5 minutes to distinguish yourself from 20 other agents, and you just really have a short amount of time to kind of present. So what I'm looking at doing is getting my team to spend a lot more time door knocking the listings that we have, introducing, running a lot of open houses, a lot of marketing for the open houses, kind of that mega open house concept that's trending right now. A lot of that kind of stuff, because you may be the only person that's going to that door, so it gives you a little bit of freedom to sort of slowly build that relationship. And I always preach to everybody, like, 4 knocks for every single listing that you have. So number 1, Adam, hey, I'm your next door neighbor. Don't shoot me. Just want to let you know we're listing the house on Main Street down the street. It's coming on the market next week. Here's a flyer. Thanks so much. Okay? Not going for any sale, not going for any hard close. Really just trying to disarm the guy and let him know that your neighbor picked this. Okay?
And you've never gotten shot.
Yeah. Because you're going to get that. What do you want? Sorry, we're just listing the house down the street. And then they kind of, you're not selling anything? No, we're not selling anything. Just want to pass on the information. What's it selling for? $350,000, $500,000, whatever it is.
They want to know. No question.
Yeah. So then that's how that sparks that conversation, but you're really just being light with it. Second, hey, we want to invite you to the open house this weekend. We'd love to have you by there. If you get them to the open house, that gives you a little bit more freedom for you to show them what you've done as far as house preparation and marketing for the house and things like that to establish that relationship a little bit further. Third knock, you let them know the house is under contract. You can't give them the final number yet because it's not final, but your fourth knock is going to be going in, hey, I want to introduce you to your new neighbors. We closed on the house. Thanks so much for your support. Joe and Jen, they're great, et cetera, et cetera. By the way, we really appreciated what we did this house. We really believe in this neighborhood. Are you considering selling in the next 12 months? Anybody you know in the neighborhood is considering selling? And that's how you want to build that organically. It's such a slow burn, but it's going to be so much more effective than beating your head against the wall with, the quick FSBO call that doesn't want to pay you anyway, that's getting pounded on by all of the dialers and all that stuff right now. It's just tough to weed your way through some of that swarm right now, in my opinion. So that's big. Once you start establishing business, one of my best referral sources with past clients has just been really treat them like you're their financial advisor. Just like your financial advisor sends you once a quarter or twice a year an update on where your retirement portfolio or anything sits, do the same with your clients. Every year on their home anniversary, remind them that it's been another year since they bought their home, update them on the value, remind them of the equity that they've gained since you bought them that house, and just sort of reaffirm in their mind that you're going to advise them on the best. It's not just time to call you when it's time to put the sign in the yard. That you're there to have a dialogue and a conversation about the future of their real estate portfolio, whether it be upsizing, downsizing, adding to, whatever.
I think one of the most important things that you touched on in there, which is a 10,000-foot view, but Jen and I have tried to make it very, very clear to everyone in our audience, all of our coaching clients, etc., that real estate is a marathon, not a sprint. I it's a career, not a job. I can't express this enough to you guys that the kind of work that really successful agents, the ones that we have as guests on our show, the ones that have gone through our coaching program, know full well that the work that they're doing today is laying groundwork for future relationships. Those might not blossom for years. For those relationships to turn into clients, again, that may not come to fruition for years. And for those transactions, those past clients to develop into solid referral sources, again, now we could be talking something that would take half a decade or a decade, as in Greg's case. I guarantee you a lot of the benefits that he's reaping today are because of the groundwork he laid out when he first started in the business. So I want you guys to really hear what Greg is saying to that effect, because it's really important stuff. There's no magic potion. There's no unicorn. You got to work hard for a long time in order to develop the kind of results that Greg and all of our other guests on the show have had. So, Greg, thank you for elaborating on that. Let's fast. Go ahead.
A couple things, really quick. Just to feed off that one more point. The big thing I think that's really critical that agents don't look at is they start when they're new in the business. They start immediately looking at return on investment, that time investment, right? And I think it's really critical, whether it be whatever your prospecting source is, that when you're starting out, that you get in front of people, that you get doors slammed in your face, that you fumble over your words, that you mess up your sales pitch, because a lot of that return on investment that you're working on is getting good, so your sales pitch is solid moving forward. So like you said, 5 years, 6 years from now, 10 years from now, not only is it the relationships that you're cultivating, but your own skill set, your sales pitch, your presentation, your pricing on houses, your pitch to clients. I mean, everything, you're building the groundwork for that early on. So even though, you may convert 1 out of 200 phone calls when you're first starting out in the business and it seems so tedious and so disheartening, that's going to get better. And so keep developing your pitch, keep getting good. I tell my new agents on my team all the time, the most important thing when you're starting out is not to see those immediate results. The most important thing is to improve your proficiency. The results will come with that. If you're good in this business, it'll always pay off. But it's super critical that you just get your talking points, that you get that you get those reps in, and so you see that pay fruition for sure.
Yeah, take imperfect action and fine-tune it as you go, guys. It will get better. There's no question. All right, Greg, let's fast forward a bit. And you had made some mention of this particular subject, and it's one that Jen and I clearly take as uber important in this stuff, which is the video work. And like you, we have a full-blown studio in-house. We do all of the recording in-house. We do all the editing in-house, so on and so forth. And whether it's our weekly show or the weekly video blog that we do for salespeople or just good live video stuff, I know this is something that you really developed early on, embraced as one of these lead gen models that you're going to use. Obviously, Jen and I have combed through your web assets like it's going out of style. One of the things I really love are the video photo collages of properties that you're listing, where there's an intro video and then some of the finer photos that come out of it. But give us some insight as to why you decided to do video, how that developed, what you're using it for today, and what kind of results you see out of it. And don't get me wrong, I know that results when it comes to quantifying or qualifying business and lead gen and dollars is very difficult. But give us some, timeline of where your video work started and what you're doing today.
Yeah. So, 2009, I get in the business. It's marketing background. I mean, I knew from the beginning that was going to be my crutch. That was going to be where I really hang my hat on as far as pitching business. I couldn't do it based on experience. I couldn't do it based on reps in the business, because I honestly was young when I got in. I felt like I was under 30 and I felt like I looked young, and so that was not going to be where I hung my hat. And so I really, really was adamant about was making sure that we offered more as far as a marketing package for properties than other people were. We were at a point in the market where the market was extremely slow, stuff wasn't moving, and so we're coming up with these robust marketing packages to make sure that we were just doing any and everything we possibly could to sell these properties because it was a time where there was so much. You sold the house next door, like come sell my house because my house has been on the market for 6 months, right? So video was definitely something at the time we did. At the time, it was like Final Cut Express. I was setting up the camera, pressing record, jumping in front of the camera, giving the spiel, doing the B-roll footage, spending 5 hours a night editing, buffering, all of that kind of stuff for the video. But I could see video was becoming popular. Still, obviously, trending a lot, but I think there's so many of these automated, virtual tour where it just throws the photos in and does sort of the pure collage. And you don't get the context. I mean, you not only want to have the house, I'm a firm believer that you want to have you inside the house, showing your passion, expressing those selling features that the home has, and really establishing that value proposition. So we went from that to my time started becoming thin to hiring out videographers. I've had probably 6 in my career that I've kind of filtered through, just trying to get them to look how they looked in my head. And so now we've got, the full-blown video. I think for us, the big thing is we've just got clients that share it with their friends, share it with their family, and their friends and family say, man, the house is presented great. It looks great. That video is awesome. I want my house to look like that when I sell it. And so the referral business, it makes it so much easier because it's so much easier for clients to share with their friends, family, things like that. Where we started to take video is a little bit more into our client relations. And so now that we're bringing the video fully in-house and fully integrated, we have a lot more flexibility where we can say, hey, here's the market report for your local area. And because it's on video, it's so much easier to digest in that 90-second, 2-minute sort of snapshot. So we're reaching out with a lot of marketing on that. We're looking to do a lot more going into 2020 as far as kind of direct to you about your zip code, about your neighborhood, what we're selling in that zip code, where we really see that market going as we sort of go into a potentially uncertain market in the next couple of years. We're doing a lot of video, one-on-one relation with our clients. And so instead of that happy birthday email with the generic graphic, now we're trying to send over a happy birthday where it's me on video, really wishing you happy birthday. Steps throughout the process. This is what earnest money is. This is what the inspection's going to have to do with. This is what, let's set up your closing. This is the appraisal. I mean, these are things that we can really get across on video that when you send an email this long that's pre-written and generic, it's really difficult to digest. But when you see me on video, not only does that kind of help give that extra touch for the client, but and they feel like they're talking to you, but it also helps us really express the next steps in the process and make sure that our clients are fully empowered throughout the sales process.
Jen and I are wearing these big grins because it's, well, you've described a number of things that we find very important, and I'll digress a little bit. And Jen, forgive me, I want to say that it was Rex in Minnesota who we spent a bunch of time with. And Rex at one point went from being a loan originator to being a real estate agent. He crossed over to the dark side. And one of the things he had mentioned that has just been so valuable on the buy side is that he actually brings the offer with him when someone's touring a home, and then does a video of them executing the offer at the seller's dining room table. Which he thought, and I'm sure it's getting incredible traction and that video goes out along with the offer, which is really fun stuff. But the reason Jen and I are so enamored with what you're explaining to our audience here is that we've done this for a couple of years. We've got, I want to say about a dozen canned videos that are basically explaining to the borrower what happens next. So you made loan application, here's what happens next. You've gone under contract on a house, here's what happens next. And not only are we getting all of those benefits that you're describing, where we're making a touch, we're becoming more familiar with our clients, we're getting the information across, but the time that it's saving my team, particularly my transaction team, without getting phone calls and emails of, hey, we know the appraisal was done, now what happens? Or we received this closing disclosure, now what happens? Because as soon as those events are occurring, they're getting a video that's literally me in the studio explaining exactly what happens at each step in the process. So we're reaping all of those benefits, including saving our team a ton of time in answering the same questions over and over and over on every transaction. So for those of you watching, what Greg is describing has so many benefits. The breadth of what that kind of video work can do for you is, well, I don't know that you can put a value on it. There's no need to quantify or qualify it because it's priceless. How about that?
You don't need to hire out a huge videographer anymore. I mean, this thing takes amazing videos now. So I mean, it has editing software on it. It's very, very easy for you to do something and get it across, feel like it's organic and hip and still look professional just with your phone nowadays. I mean, really no excuse not to be having some canned video work that you can get out to your clients on a regular basis and put that in your process.
All right, so I can't believe how quickly some of these 30-minute episodes whip by. Give us a little insight into Greg's future. What do you think your something different? What do you think your team structure, your lead generation, your video marketing looks like in 2020, 2021? Where do you see your group going with something new and unique and creative in the future?
Yeah. So numbers wise, we're on track, pretty close. We're trying to get to 50 million as a team in closed volume this year. Definitely, we have a 3-year plan to get that up to 75. We expect to get from three plus me, so 4 agents, probably up to about 7 by the time we get to that point. So that's kind of going to be the growth within. We're looking at doing a lot more creative marketing regarding some of the geocaching stuff, where you're online, you're in your zip code, and on pops information specific for your zip code. There's so much wide information as far as the market's great, the market's not great, but oftentimes that's such a generality and it doesn't speak to exactly what's going on in your neck of the woods. And so we're looking at being a lot more intricate as far as that goes. We want our listing presentations. We want everything that we do from a marketing perspective to really feel like it's speaking to you and to your neighborhood specifically. Here in Colorado Springs, we have such a wide breadth and such a wide range of diverse neighborhoods, and the same market analysis does not fit all sizes. I could go into one neighborhood and really it's about pushing your limit, pushing boundaries, pushing value, and getting it sold in 2 days versus 10 days. Some neighborhoods, I mean, we'd be thrilled if we got something sold in 30 days, and so really just speaking to the consumer about their specific market area. That's where we're looking at moving a lot of our marketing. So like the YouTube stuff where you come on, if you're in a certain area, you look at a video where that video that pops on, just speaking to you directly about what's happening in your specific neighborhood. So for Adam and Highlands Ranch, these are some of the houses that sold in the last month. This is where we're seeing the market trending, and really just hammering it on that point that we're your advisor in that area, and to reach out to us so we can kind of walk you through the process. We're really working on getting our clients ahead of the game. So if you're thinking of downsizing in 2020 sometime, we want you to call us in 2019 so we can game plan that timeline out with you and when it'll be most beneficial for you to sell your house and find a new house or upsize or add an investment property. Really we want our clients to bring us in. We don't want them to call us because they saw a house they thought was cute on realtor.com or something like that. We want them to be way ahead of the game and look at us as their portfolio manager for everything real estate, honestly.
It's brilliant. All right, so for those of you paying really close attention, there is going to be something of a future in geolocated video marketing. So take that one with a grain of salt. And while we're running over, Greg, I certainly never ever want to deny somebody the opportunity, particularly since we've made sure to tag you in all of these broadcasts that are going out over the web right now. We do get some consumer viewership, so give us the highlights. What's the best way to reach out to you, and how can a consumer find you? How can a potential agent that may want to join your team find you? Give us the best way to contact you.
Yeah, definitely. So most comprehensive, most robust marketing plan we offer clients for your listings in the city. We feel like we're competitive with everybody in the state, honestly. You can reach us at makespringshome.com, so www.makespringshome.com. You can always call me directly at 719-271-8888. We are looking to expand the team in the next year or so, so if that's something that you're looking for, a team that can really help you take the next step in your business, please also reach out to me again, 719-271-8888.
Great. Jen, anything I missed? Anything you want Greg to elaborate on, or anything you want to ask him?
I'm good over here. Thank you, Greg.
Okay.
Let's
So,
do this again.
Greg, thank you for joining us, and I cannot express how appreciative we are of you not only reiterating some of the points and the finer points that we certainly try to get across to our clientele and certainly to our audience, but to give us a little bit of insight as to what the future's going to hold for that kind of stuff. And for all of you watching, again, thank you for tuning in either live or in syndication. If you'd like more information about Just the Tips, or if you'd like to be a guest on the show, or if you'd like a copy of my book, Just the Tips, you can use our text code at the bottom of your screen. That's TIPS. Text that to 63566. Again, Greg, thank you for joining us. And for those of you watching, we'll see you next week.